everybody. What the flick? The year is almost over, and so we finally get to wrap up Jessica Jones about a month-ish late.
Yay!
You're welcome. William Bibbiani. I'm here with Kim Horcher. I'm here with Meredith Placko. Francis could not make it because Jessica Jones snapped his neck. He was Purple Man all along. Purple Man.
I knew it.
Francis Purple Man. Everyone liked the Purple Man. So I wasn't here last week, so we were only talking about episode 13, a.k.a. Smile.
And we're going to wrap up our final thoughts.
And we're going to wrap up our final thoughts as well. Yes, we're gonna do all that. But let's talk about that smile, shall we?
That smile.
That smile. That lovely smile. You ladies should smile more. Yeah. They love that, guys. They just love that. Yeah. Has that ever worked? Has anyone ever gone up to a lady and said, you should smile more? And her response was,
that to me this
that's
weekend.
Not condescending at all. No.
Yes.
Did it work?
No.
Really? How do you respond to that? Is it just like, you're a condescending prick, and I say, good day to you?
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, it's true.
That's it. That's all I do.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
So let's get back to the show.
I think this is relevant, though, because ultimately that's what this whole thing has been about, is about control and the objectification, literally, of other people. And I think one of the things that's been great about this show is it's kind of been dealing with just how difficult it is to deal with Killgrave. How do you solve a problem like Killgrave? And they've talked a lot about, can we rehabilitate him? Can we capture him? And as we see in this last episode, nope, fuck it. Only way to do it is to kill him sometimes.
We did, yeah. We were wondering, is there any kind of redemption for him? Can we rehabilitate him? And
can we control him?
No.
No.
No?
No.
It reminded me of, did you guys ever see a Ralph Bakshi movie called Wizards?
No.
Okay, well then I won't spoil it for you. Suffice it to say, the ending reminded me of Wizards. There's just comes this point where I think every story is in some way anti-war and anti-violence. Obviously, even James Bond, it's cool when he does all this stuff. He's not supposed to. It's better when he doesn't for all of us.
Yeah.
But there comes a point when someone is just so Blofeldy or so Killgravey that the only thing you can do is try to kill the damn bastard.
So I guess Nuke was right all along. I mean, not Nuke, Simpson.
Oh yeah, Simpson. Yeah.
Well, again, it's a show about varying perspectives, which I think is kind of remarkable.
Well, last week I'd asked the audience, and just generally, do we have to kill Killgrave? Is that And I kind of asked that genuinely, and people were like, oh, of course, someone's going to question it. Having seen the whole series, I didn't want to spoil anything, and I feel that Jessica was completely within the right to kill Killgrave. I felt that was a necessary evil and a necessary must, because another thing that I loved about it, and why I've been saying for the longest time that Jessica Jones is not a superhero show, is that she doesn't do the necessary things that a superhero must do. She's almost in many ways an anti-hero. And I love that, we finally had to see someone take it upon themselves to do what might not have been the honorable course of action, but still maybe the
I like the
necessary.
way she did it.
Yeah.
Which is like, it wasn't this grandiose, crazy death. It was just a click and a thump and it's over.
Yep.
And it was just so unceremonious. But I don't think that was the climax. I thought the climax was her telling Trish that she loved her instead of Killgrave.
Yeah.
Finally opening up to that point.
There's been a wonderful storyline with Luke, and boy, did that come to a head in the previous episode, and how great was that? And that was the only way to get him to forgive her. It's just like, oh, that's what you were going through? Oh, yeah, I totally get why you killed my wife. Sorry about that. But yeah, the real love story here is between, I think, Jessica and Trish, and it's a sisterly love. It's basically the ending of Frozen, where it's all about true love. Yeah, but it's sisterly love. That's way more true than man love.
I don't know if that's the point of Frozen.
That's what I got from it, and I love that movie. I'm quoted on the DVD of that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Is it that exact quote?
It's exactly that quote. It's all about man love.
I thought it was more about when you love someone, you put them ahead of yourself.
That is, I think, genuinely true, and I think we see that a lot
And there's other
in this
kinds of
episode.
love.
Yeah.
But even just the fact that Trish actually helped, Jessica didn't remove her from the equation. That's the kind of love that isn't about protecting someone or shielding someone. That's about living with someone and working with someone. I think that's really beautiful.
And I think that's important for Jessica herself to learn, is that she has to not just love but trust others. And this is, a woman who has no concept of trust, and she learned it. And I know a lot of people on the internet said that they felt the episode truly ended at 12 and 13 was unnecessary, but I think 13 wrapped everything up very well, and I think we saw not just a great conclusion, because I think there's still a lot of unanswered questions, especially with the documents that Trish's mother pulled up.
IDH?
Yeah, the IDH documents.
I think it's IGH.
IGH and the links.
I'm sick and my D's sound like G's.
Oh, did you actually say? Oh, my apologies. Okay.
And I think there's a lot to answer in season 2, which we might be getting. Bendis may have tweeted something, and then that tweet may have been removed. So
See, my thing is this. I figured that they were holding off on officially announcing Jessica Jones Season 2 because we have Luke Cage, and presumably she's going to be in it. Or at least
Yeah, I don't
someone,
know.
right? I would hope so. What's he going to do? Go on a vacation to
well,
Wisconsin?
we do know it takes place after Jessica Jones. That came out, and we know that Night Nurse is going to be in it. So hopefully Jessica Jones shows up, and I really hope so.
I don't know. For me, watching the show and also thinking about where they end up in the comics, I see Jessica Jones and Luke Cage as sort of a group, a dyad, the Ralph and Sue Dibney, if you will.
Yeah, but then later we have Iron Fist, and he and Luke become,
Lovers?
Best bros.
heroes for hire.
Well, can't Jessica Jones be a part of that?
Yeah, I think she
Yeah.
could. But yeah, I mean, he might figure into his series as well.
I was kind of hoping that if they did Heroes for Hire at this point, because Luke and Iron Fist and everyone's going to be a defender,
Well, and we
is that they do Misty Knight.
Yeah, well, because we're getting Misty and Luke Cage, so.
Are we officially getting Misty
Yeah,
Knight? How did I miss that? That's awesome.
Yeah, go look it up. Yeah, she has been cast. I'm blanking on the actress's name at the moment, but yes,
awesome.
Misty is coming in. So
badass.
yeah, that's why I've been saying we don't
Yeah.
need defenders, we just
We're
need
fine.
heroes for hire.
We're fine.
We're all right.
Yeah, I just hope that they do more with Jessica Jones in the Netflix series than they do in the comics, because she kind of takes a break from superheroing or even private detectiving and kind of steps back
Becomes
to raise.
a mom.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with being a mom, but she's just kind of like, oh, this life isn't cut out for me. And I think Kristen Ritter is just such a fantastic actress, and I want to see her more, going and cracking heads.
Well, I think it'd be interesting to see Jessica Jones trying to be a mom, because you can see it's not really counterintuitive.
She's not there yet.
Yeah.
There's this interesting fantasy I think a lot of people have, that every woman is inherently a mom. And I've seen this in sitcoms and romantic comedies with Sarah Jessica Parker, where it's like, oh, I don't know how she does it. Well, as soon as you have a baby, you're instantly a great mom. It's not actually true. For some people, it's really, really hard. And I think you could potentially dramatize that with Jessica Jones in a way that could be very real and very fascinating, while still actually having her keep her day job.
She has so far to go still. I mean, the way we ended this series, or this season rather, which was she still kind of hates herself, and she doesn't see the light in her that other people see, I suppose, because we go to the end and she does her noir voiceover of, I'm not exactly sure what the words are exactly, but she's like, I can try, or I can try to look this way, or whatever, maybe I'll help people, after she's ignoring all these voicemails. But then Malcolm kind of nudges her in that direction by picking up the phone and, urging her in that way. So he sees something in her.
Yeah.
She's just not there yet, personally.
And I just feel using the baby as a redemption arc would kind of undo a lot of the great standing on her own as a leading lady.
Definitely. No, I do want to make clear I wasn't suggesting that.
No,
they do it.
I know,
It's
I know.
theoretically.
Yeah.
You can do. They proved that they could do a whole series about this particular brand of personal trauma, and that's it, and just have one villain and everything. I believe that Jessica Jones can take an aspect of a dramatic situation, particularly about womanhood and a particular woman, and actually make it function. So if there's something that other shows couldn't do or would make really, really trite, I think Jessica Jones might be able to actually pull it off and make it really, really interesting. And I think I would like to see the game raised.
I agree. Yeah.
So I guess final thoughts on this episode. We just didn't want to talk about this specific episode too much. I thought it was dramatically very, very exciting. I thought the conclusion was very cool.
Oh, I loved when Jessica was walking in with the headphones and whips off her hood, and he goes, "Ah, it's Patsy." Great, perfect.
I mean, the beats were all there. It was just, it was a great conclusion. I thought, and like you said, the real ending was her and Trish, and I feel having that subdued death of Purple Man, of Killgrave, it was great because it took the power away from him, because even his death wasn't the main focus, and it was great.
It wasn't the main part of her growth. Her main part of her growth was, I guess, reaching that emotional breakthrough that she'd never been able to have, and becoming, I guess, more of herself.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it would have been rather cheap if the entire point of the show was about her getting over Killgrave. Granted, that's a really, really important part of the show, but it ultimately says she doesn't even have a story arc without the man, and I think they really sidestepped that in a very dramatically effective way. I think it was a good show.
Yeah,
I
I
liked
really
it a lot.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Do we think it was better than Daredevil?
I'm not sure we have to compare them, because I think they're very
Yeah.
different entities. I think just personally, I'm probably going to rewatch Daredevil again more than I would watch Jessica Jones, just because it's more fun. Jessica Jones felt really, really emotionally crushing sometimes, and I'm not sure. it's gonna have that replay
I like her
value.
better as a character than I do Daredevil,
That's
but
fair.
Yeah.
maybe Daredevil is a better show. I'm not sure personally.
I think Daredevil had better fight choreography and a lot. I liked the. I really liked the photography direction. Like whoever the DP on Daredevil was fantastic. Jessica Jones as a story and as a character and the characters involved had me hooked. And I think. And I haven't touched on this at all the entire series, but I'll definitely say Jessica Jones hit very close to home. It was a very personal story. It was very difficult for me to watch. And I grew with the character as she grew. It helped me deal with some things from my past that I hadn't really touched on, which will probably make me hesitant to rewatch it anytime soon. Yeah. But I do want to go back and rewatch it. And it was, I will say for someone having been through a relationship, obviously not mind controlling, but emotionally abusive and controlling, Jessica Jones did a fantastic job of portraying a situation I went through to the media at large. And I thought it was very truthful and honest for what people like me have gone through.
I think there's an argument to be made that Jessica Jones is, amongst the Marvel movies proper, maybe the first truly artistically significant thing they've ever done. Like, they've made really, really good movies before that resonated, but when it comes down to, you actually said something no one else was saying and was actually deeply human and personal and important. Yeah. I think they've touched upon it. I'm not saying that other movies aren't great. I've actually liked every movie Marvel's done so far, but yeah, I think this was the one that really upped to their game artistically in a way that we've never seen before. So that if the action sequences weren't perfect, fine. Doesn't have to be the point of every show.
This felt more like an independent film than a big action blockbuster.
Yeah, and seriously, bless everyone involved for taking the chance and actually doing that. Whether or not this is your favorite Marvel show, I think it's a little irrelevant. I think it's really had an important impact on a lot of people, and I'm glad it did. And I think that's why, even though it took us a while, we really needed to do this show. So. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, for sticking around. We will be back. We will do Daredevil, I think is next. For
Daredevil
Marvel's.
season 2.
Yep.
We'll be back for that when that premieres, and we cannot wait. Hopefully it's a little bit more fun.
We're going to have the Punisher. It's going to be awesome. Yes.
Yay! We'll be back, everybody. Have a great whatever time frame it is between now and then.